What's going on, people, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to do a quick match reaction to the game that finished this evening. Celtic 0, Roma 3 in the Europa League. Celtic suffering a 3-0 loss at home to the Serie A side in Wilfried Nancy's second game in charge. Wilfried Nancy becomes the first Celtic manager in history to lose 2 back-to-back games as Celtic manager. Absolutely appalling. That first half was absolutely embarrassing from the highlights that I've seen. I listened to it on the radio, didn't watch the game, but I heard it on the radio. It was just appalling. It really was. I would have gone after Roma scored the first goal. You know, fans were leaving early, you know, walking out of the stadium. You know, the board are sitting there. They must be thinking, they must take notice of that. It's their responsibility. They should not be there. They should all go. Some of these players are simply not good enough and they need to go. Sebastian Tedeschi isn't a wing back. I don't think he's good enough, personally. He looked decent at the start, but he's just not got what it takes to be a Celtic player. Yang's never been good enough for Celtic. He's been here under multiple managers. He's never improved and proved it consistently, so he needs to go. He's crap. Liam Scales is not at the standard. 2 of the goals were his fault tonight. The own goal and the third goal with Ferguson, where he got pushed off the ball too easily. That was Scales' fault. Not good enough. Hatate doesn't want to be here. Maeda was an absolute joke up front. Negron doesn't have the attitude to be a Celtic player. He's got moments, but he just doesn't do it often enough. Engels as well. I don't think he's got the attitude. Most of this squad. Tierney looks slow as anything. It's not injuries have killed Tierney as a player. Everybody was a joke in the first half. The second half was a friendly. Roma took their foot off the gas. They didn't need to play well. But yeah, Roma got the win. You know, Celtic are embarrassing. You know, the cup final will lose on Sunday to St Mirren, I think. I don't think Wilfried's got a chance of winning that through no fault of his own. He just hasn't got the players to play his system. And yeah, Celtic are an absolute bin fire. They're a joke. The first goal that Roma scored was a header from Liam Scales from a corner. You know, Scales is too busy holding his man from the corner. And it was headed in off the crossbar past Schmeichel, 1-0 to Roma, deservedly so. They had other chances where Celtic were dilly-dallying on the ball on the edge of their own box. Ferguson hit the post. Awful, absolutely awful from Celtic. Hatate was caught in possession at one point, and Roma put it over the bar. There was another chance where the guy from the edge of the box hit one, which Schmeichel pushed away. But Roma did get their second goal. It was coming. You know, Tierney gets caught 2v1 down the left-hand side. And then the defending in the middle was appalling. It was a really good finish, but nobody's marking Ferguson in the middle. It's an easy tap-in, simply not good enough from Celtic. It was embarrassing. The third goal came soon, not long after. It was Ferguson again, the unknown Brighton striker. You know, why did we not buy him in January? In January in the summer. You know, he's been linked with Celtic for a while, Ferguson. But yeah, it's a really good goal from Ferguson. Really good striker's play. Great finish. You know, Scales is touch tight, but he gets beaten too easily and turned too easily. Great finish by Ferguson in the corner. 3-0 Roma. Celtic did get a penalty in stoppage time. Engels was tripped in the box, but Engels missed it off the post and out. Summed up Celtic's performance in the first half. Iheanacho came on in the second half. I thought made a little bit of a difference. He was unlucky with a goal being disallowed for offside. You know, he was just offside. It's a really good move. Engels played the ball in, but Iheanacho was just offside. As I said, you know, it was unlucky. You know, Roma didn't really offer as much in the second half, and they didn't need to. They had the match wrapped up in the first half. You know, Celtic, you know, Iheanacho again had an opportunity where he went down the line and he put it wide. You know, he should have done better there. Leon Bailey came on. Great goal that he scored. You know, he skipped inside McGregor too easily, hit one into the corner, but it was offside. But that was it. Roma won 3-0. Deservedly so. They were by far the better team. You know, fans, as I said, were walking out the stadium in the first half. In the second half, at half-time, it was embarrassing. To be honest, from the Celtic team, they're just simply not good enough. They will not win nothing this season, in my opinion, if Wilfried doesn't get the backing that he needs. You know, it's not his team. I'm not going to blame him yet. You know, he's only had 2 games. You know, we just simply don't have the players to play the system he wants, and that's not down to him. That's down to the board, who should not be there. You know, fans should have been waiting outside the stadium for that board to come out, and people should have been telling them to get to fuck because they don't deserve to be there. But yeah, Sunday's a big game for Wilfried against St Mirren. I'm not confident about that at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose that game. You know, if we lose that game, Wilfred's under extreme pressure. You know, it'd be a disaster if he lost that game. He needs to change something. I think we went to 4 at the back. It was a lot better, but it was too late in the game. But yeah, that's my reaction. Celtic lost 3-0 to Roma. Embarrassing. No words to describe it. Not surprising. You know, we're not going to progress. We won't win the last 2 games, I don't think. If we do, I'll be astonished. You know, even if we beat Utrecht in the last game, we're not going to go any further than the playoffs. So I'd rather we just went out altogether of the Europa League. This board doesn't give a shit about Europe, so why the fuck should we? Because they just have no respect for us. They should get the fuck. You know, it should be us against them for the rest of the season. Protests, you know, no buying merchandise, you know, boycotting games. You know, why the fuck should we put up with this? They're fucking useless. As I said, you know, it's all their fault, most of it. And some of these players need to be moved on. I would get rid of all of these players tonight. You know, I don't think any of them deserve to be there. Schmeichel as well is too old. Needs to go as well. He's been a good servant, but he's far too old now. Give Simasalo his chance. Drop Schmeichel for the rest of the season. But yeah, that's my reaction. I'll do a reaction to the cup final on Sunday. But thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.